about a minute early, but why wait to go live with such an important live stream when we can go live a minute early? So let's set up some chat guidelines here. Chat filter. I think that's good. Let's set up some lighting over here. Beautiful. Fantastic.
Donald Trump.
That was a little excessive. Hello, Emily, darling. I'm glad that you were able to make it.
Donald Trump currently has 291 electoral college votes. Kamala Harris has 223. Mom, do you think Trump will...
Hold on, I gotta say hi to everybody.
Okay.
Hello, Jamie, darling. Hello, Sarah. Hello. Hello, Natalie.
Mom,
Pip is giving us a up-to-date... Yeah, we don't care about the cookies. Pip is checking out a website. 1 second, dude. He's checking out the stats right now to see what it's at. What is it? It's Donald Trump is at 292 and Kamala is at
291 to 223. Mom,
291 to 223. I mean, he won. It's official. Yeah, love.
Do you think Kamala will just stay at 223 and Trump will snag all the other ones?
I don't know. We're gonna find out.
I need to go check on that.
So how's everybody doing today? Now that the election is behind us, now that we know the official results.
Can you please pause?
No, I cannot please pause. We got lots to go over. We got a lot to discuss today. Hello, my darling pissed off empath. Nice to see you. Remind me your name, dear. It starts with a D, right? Is it? I don't remember. Remind me your name, honey, okay? If you're comfortable sharing it. Hey, Steve. I'm glad that you were able to join us.
Oh, Mom. This website...
Pip is off from... Well, he's not off from school today. He's just home from school today. So he's going to be lending some additional context to our live stream today. However, he's going to have to keep it down. He's very excited. He woke up this morning. The first thing he did was he took my phone because he wanted to see what we were at.
Mom,
yes.
This website...
Because when he... 1 second, doll. When he went to sleep last night, the result was not official. I stayed up to see Donald Trump's victory speech. Pip was already asleep by then, but when he woke up this morning, it was like the first thing he went to go see. He was really excited about it. Yes, love.
So this website says that it's actually 301 to 198.
Okay.
Which is even better.
Wait. 301 to what? 298? That's not possible.
To 198.
Oh, to 198. Okay.
Mom.
Hello, Gujar Harsh Nambardar.
And this...
I'm not sure if I'm saying your name correctly there.
And Mom, this time...
Hey, MD. Hey, MD.
Mom.
What?
This one has different.
He's very excited about
this. So they gave
this.
Nevada to Trump.
They gave Nevada. We got a lot to talk about, guys. I'm really excited.
They gave Michigan to Trump.
They gave Nevada to Trump. They gave Michigan to Trump.
And Arizona and New York are up for debate.
Arizona and New York are. So he may have actually flipped New York as well.
He could.
So he flipped Florida. He flipped Texas. What else did he flip
No,
for
he didn't
sure?
flip Texas.
Oh, he didn't flip Texas? My bad.
He flipped Georgia and he flipped Wisconsin.
Hello? Oh, Miles. Thank you for letting me know your name. Yes.
In Nebraska?
Thank you, Denisha. Thank you, darling.
In Nebraska?
I'm getting like a rundown right now too, so I have more that I can discuss with you guys. I know. You're trying to talk to me. I'm trying to talk to them. It's just like a shit show.
In Nebraska,
Yes.
4 votes went to Trump, 1 vote went to Kamala. I'm not sure
got
how
you.
that happened. And for Maine, 3 votes went to and in Maine, 3 votes went to Kamala, 1 went to Trump, and also Rhode Island is still up for debate.
Okay. Thank you for sharing that with us. I'm now going to be giving my time and attention to the people that are live. Let's talk. Yes, I am letting Pip assess politics. Because here's the thing. It's notable. What's going on in the world right now is notable. He's passionate about it. He's excited about it. It was like when he woke up this morning, the first thing he wanted to do was he wanted to see what the results were. I knew it when I went to sleep. He didn't. He went to sleep earlier, so he didn't know what the results were. What was it when you went to sleep last night, doll? Was it like he was at 246 or something like that?
I think when I checked,
Yeah.
when one of the adults checked at the camping trip,
Yeah.
it was 232 to 216. I'm not sure what's happening. Mom, and
Alessandra, darling, why are you terrified of the results? Hi, Beth. I'm glad that you were able to catch us, darling.
Mom,
Yes.
New York is a must-win for Kamala, and Rhode Island is not needed.
Rhode Island is not even needed. So I want to check in with you guys. I want to hear how everybody is doing. How are we feeling now that the election is behind us? How are we feeling in terms of the results? We have one person who shared that they are terrified with the results, and I want to hear why you're terrified with the results. And there's a lot of thoughts that I have that I want to share with you guys, and if you have questions that you want to ask, I'm here for the next 2 hours for sure. That I have time set aside that I'm going to be here with you guys, that we can go over whatever it is that you want to talk about, questions you have, thoughts that I have that I want to share, concerns that you guys might have, if you want to celebrate, whatever it is, I'm here for you guys.
Mom, so it's kind of battling against itself. Now it's saying Trump's at 254 to 232. It's battling against itself.
Denisha, I mean, it's the skincare for me. What's the routine? I will share that with you. 1 second, please. Hold on. I need to have words with Pip. 1 second. Okay, so Denisha, your question about the skincare is oil. I put oil on, like oil, not like olive oil, although I'm sure you could probably put olive oil on. I have to actually go see what I put on earlier today. So it's just oil and it's some makeup to make my skin look very dewy and to look very fresh. If you want me to actually go get the bottle of what it is I have on, I am more than happy to go get it and to share it with you. Hold on. Gujar is in India. Welcome from India. Natalie, I am concerned because there is so much hate, misogyny, and racism in the way that he speaks. Okay. I appreciate that you were sharing your perspective on that. Hello, Mir. Good evening. It's actually daytime here in where I am anyway, in the United States at this time. Miles, have you already or will you do a deep dive? Yes, I will be doing a deep dive into Kamala. I have not done one, however, yet, but I will.
Can you do a deep dive into just the election in general?
I'm open to that. I'm open to it. Here's the thing. Without even doing a full deep dive into the election, I feel like a lot will come out in just this conversation, in us unpacking everything that has gone on. And one second, what the purpose and intention of the last 4 years was that led up to this moment. Because understand, in the big picture, this big picture, everything that's kind of happened and gone on has served, is like a piece in a puzzle. And we, for example, may not see all of the pieces in the puzzle, so we don't necessarily see what the finished product is going to be, but it's still a piece in a puzzle. Yes, darling.
So, can you also look into Gruesome Newsome?
Maybe I'll look into Gruesome Newsome. Oh, I love your handle. Happiness, peace of mind. That's a fantastic handle. Denisha, I don't understand the visceral emotion with politics in this society, especially people of color. I kind of have spoken about this in the past. The world that we are currently living in right now is a reflection of the cabal. And they are the, let's say, the 1%ers, right? So anyone who's going to be watching this, we are the 99%. There is, by virtue of the fact that we are called the 99%, there are way, way, way more of us than there are of them. So what do they do to guarantee, or what is one of the ways, one of the pieces in the puzzle we could say, of their methodology and what they're doing to maintain control. It's to throw a bunch of things into a blender and then mix it up. And what are the ingredients that they're putting into the blender? It's race, it's hate, it's an us versus them mentality, and it just gets all blended up together so we don't know up from down, left from right, right from wrong any longer, men from women any longer. And it's all done with the intention of keeping our consciousness so confused and so trapped that we don't even understand who we are any longer, and how powerful we truly are. Because if we knew how powerful we were, we would no longer be living in servitude. We would say till here but no further. So one of the tools in their toolbox is to create hate. Because go out into your day-to-day life. Has anyone watching this actually experienced real... Puppy, please turn that down. That's way too loud, love. Has anyone here actually experienced the kind of so-called hatred that they are telling us exists in the world? That's what I want to know. Now, admittedly, you're looking at me, you can see I'm a white woman. So I'm not going to come on here and try to pretend that I would know what the experience is like to be a person of color. I can only share with you what has been shown to me behind the veil, which is one of the tools in their toolbox is to create hate. No one is born, no matter what they want to teach us with critical race theory, no one person is born hating another person because of the color of their skin. It just doesn't exist. It's not real. Hatred is something that is taught. It's not something that people are inherently born with, depending on the amount of melanin we have in our skin. I am not an oppressor because I have less melanin, and no one particular black person is a victim because they have more melanin in their skin. It's a complete fabrication. So it is a fabrication. It's not real. They are doing it because they want to keep our consciousness in a lower vibration. And one of the low vibrations are, or some of them, fear, hate, jealousy, apathy. Because if we were allowed to actually ascend, we would no longer be living in servitude. So just kind of sit on that for a few minutes and let me know if that resonates with you while I catch up on some other comments here. Denisha, this isn't surprising, nor does it hurt. Okay, I'm glad to hear that. Gujar, India Army Major Harsh. I'm sorry to hear that, darling. Denisha, honestly, I am insulted that people are so myopic to think or believe that because I am a person of color, I was supposed to vote. So this is something that's really come up a lot, and I'm glad that you're touching upon it. It's almost like we've been funneled into abdicating our actual unique and individual identity. And it's just like, oh, if you're a black person, you have to vote for Kamala. If you're a black guy, you have to vote for Kamala. If you're a person of color, you have to vote for Kamala. And it's like, actually, that's not the way that it works. We're all unique individuals. We should be voting according to what resonates with us. And it has nothing to do with the external. It's all about the internal. It's just another way of them trying to, 1 second, baby. It's just another way where they're trying to get us to almost like erase what actually matters, which is what's on the inside. And we're only supposed to embrace the most shallow, superficial elements that make us, people, which is the external. It's like, imagine you're driving down a really, really nice street and you see all of these beautiful houses. And you think, or one might think, that just because the exterior of the house is so lovely, it means that the inside would be lovely as well. But what somebody might not know is that some of these houses have been taken over by squatters. And the inside is in complete disarray. It's like infested with termites, there's vermin, there's rats, and it's a complete shit show. But the outside looks nice, and it's like, is that actually what matters? Is it actually important that when people are driving by, they see a house that looks nice? Or is what actually matters the fact that it's functioning on the inside and like people can use the bathroom, people can shower, people can prepare proper food, people can live in a way that is high vibe. So what they're trying to get people to do is just embrace the lowest fundamental factor of what makes us a human being, which is the external about us. It has nothing to do, like they're trying to, get people to vote for her, like, oh, she's a person of color, you have to vote for her. It's like, meanwhile, people are looking around and they're like, I don't know a damn thing that she stands for other than reproductive rights and that she's, so-called a person of color. So it's just, again, trying to get us to identify with the lowest common denominator of what makes a person a person. Catching up on some comments here. Hello, Lisa, darling. I'm glad that you caught us. Hello, Faye. I watched the Macron video. Does Trump see the American people like Macron sees the French people? I don't like how during the energy reading how Macron looked at you. Lisa, honey, you're one of my members, right? There is a members exclusive video on Donald Trump. If you have not yet seen it, go back and watch that video. Because in that video, I do a real deep dive into Donald Trump's energy. And I'm actually going to tell you something about that video. I had recorded that video prior to me having channel membership, and I saved it. I didn't share it on the regular channel. I felt it was going to be too divisive of a video, and I actually saved it until I had channel membership, and it was the first video I shared on my channel membership, because I was like, this is where we can do real deep dives. We can look into maybe some more of the more fringe concepts like we have looked into, and where I felt I could share topics that I thought might be a little bit too controversial for a regular channel. But you're a member, honey. Watch the video that I had done on Trump. But just for anyone who's watching, if you are curious, every time I have looked into Donald Trump's energy, and it's actually been multiple times, I have seen that he is somebody that has integrity, and he really does want what's best for the country, and he really does want good for the American people. Not just the American people, people worldwide as well. So yeah, I have seen consistently, not just him, his family as well, they have a lot of integrity. Lisa, I agree, Faye. If another Trump presidency, better for the cabal or for the American people, for much needed change, I agree something needs to change. Our country is not in a good place right now. So that's one of the things I wanted to discuss, which was the intention of the last 4 years. Look at the period of 2020 until now as one giant red pill for the country. Not just the country, but the world as well. Just look at it, because whatever I have shared in the past, I want you to imagine everything that's playing out is kind of done in a big ass sports arena. Now, growing up, I actually went to a Knicks game, New York Knicks, in Madison Square Garden. That stadium is huge, and we didn't have the greatest of seats. We were considered the nosebleed section. So I could barely see what was going on the what do you call it?
On the court.
On the court, thank you, on the court.
NBA court.
I could not even see what was going on the court. Stop.
Wait, what year was it?
I was a teenager.
Was it back
I was maybe 12 years old.
And so back in the Patrick Ewing. So I couldn't see what was going on the court. The only way I could actually see the game was to look at, you know how they have, stop jumping around, baby. You know how they have those big, large screen, you okay? You're okay. Walk it up, baby, walk it up, you're okay. So you know how they have those big, large screen, you're okay, baby. They have those big, give me your foot. You know how they have those large, big screens? So the only way I could actually see what was going on was by looking at the big screens. So I want you to look at everything that's going on the world stage at this time. We're in a really big stadium. And
there's a lot of people way back in the nosebleed section. They cannot see what is going on. So everything that's playing out has to be bigger, more over the top, more amplified, so the people way in the back can actually see what's going on. A lot of the things that are playing out in the world is not actually for us, it's for them. Because if you are already awake, a lot of the things playing out are not for you. It's for the sleepers. It's designed to wake people up. Think about how many people have woken up in the last 4 years. Now, maybe they're not as awake as you are, but there's a lot more awareness. Even if people can't necessarily put their finger on what it is, there's a lot more awareness about something's just not right. Something's wrong. Like, why are we allowing men to compete in women's sports and blow them out of the water?
Good question.
Why are we allowing men to compete against women in the Olympics and win all of the medals? Like, something's not right here. Why is it that I can't afford groceries and I don't even know if I'm going to have enough money to put in my car, if you can even afford a car at this point, but there's so many people in the country that are just bleeding on about women's reproductive rights? It's a red pill. It's designed to wake people up. Congratulations, y'all. You are living in a matrix. It's just not a simulation as what was shown to us in the movie The Matrix. It's still a matrix. We are all getting a red pill over the last 4 years. That is what has been going on. Now, if you know about the so-called, I'm not going to say the letter because it's a fringe letter, but if you're familiar with the so-called 17 drops, I call it 17 because what's the letter of the alphabet between P and R? It's the 17th letter, P, R, the letter in between. The so-called 17 drops. They're onto me, guys. I'm dropping truth bombs. They're onto me. No, I'm kidding. So the so-called 17 drops said, only at the precipice will people change. What has the last 4 years been, if not one excruciatingly long, drawn-out precipice designed to wake people up? It's just a red pill, guys. That's all the last 4 years have been. Natalie, I know we're going to be okay, but it still feels odd. I don't know, that's just how I feel. Because I think you're feeling the resonance of the world actually changing right now. And it's unfamiliar and it's scary. And I also just want to tell you guys, just because Trump won doesn't mean the future is like rainbows, butterflies, and unicorns.
It's going to be better.
It will be better, but not for some time. It's going to get fucking gnarly, guys. Because one of Trump's purposes in his second term is to do D-class. What is D-class? To declassify so-called classified information. So I do see the truth coming out about JFK's assassination. I do see that RFK is going to play a huge role in the administration in terms of actually, yes, making America healthy. There's going to be a lot of information that's going to be coming out about how detrimental the Jabadoodles have been, about how bad the food has been. It's going to get gnarly, but it has to get gnarly before it gets better, because we have to have the information to make the necessary changes to make not just America great again, to make our food great again, to make our water great again, to make our relations with other countries great again. All of the corrupt systems, which is unfortunately everything, has to come down in order for it to be rebuilt without the cabal's greedy little hands in it. But the way that it has to first come down is it has to be revealed how corrupt everything is. The process of the corruption being revealed is going to be gnarly. But again, a lot of what we're going to learn, it's not for you and me, because it's something that we may already know. Like, if you're watching me, you may already know that your water supply is completely poisoned, that fluoride is a neurotoxin. There's plenty of people out there I actually know somebody who tells me, oh yeah, the water is fine, you can drink from it. And I'm like, what water are we talking about? She's like, the tap water, it's fine, they filter it. There's people out there that think your water supply is completely fine. Guys, there's fluoride in it. Fluoride is a known neurotoxin. It's also been shown to make people dumber. So when all of this information is actually going to be revealed, guess the fuck what, guys? It's not going to be pretty. Because again, the people in the back, the sleepers in the back, when they're going to start to wake up to this shit, it's not going to be pretty. But a lot of what's going to come out, again, it's not for you and me. So sit back, grab your popcorn, and enjoy the show. That's what I say. Alessandra, Trump is constantly divisive. So I want to, if you're okay, Alessandra, I'd like to challenge you on that. How has he been divisive? What have you seen him say? And if you've seen him say something that's divisive, have you seen it only in little clips on TV and on the news? Or have you seen an entire speech, unedited, where you can actually share something where you have seen him being divisive? Denisha, this society lacks honesty, God, substance, and accountability. God has been erased. Now, I spoke about this in one of the videos that I had done. Was it on, I think it might have been Macron, the video I had done on Emmanuel Macron, or it might have been the video I had done on Bojo, Boris Johnson, where I actually noted the fact that what is being taught in school, it's a Big Bang Theory. Now, if it's just a theory and it's not something that's proved, why are they also not teaching the theory that we came from God? They want to cut God out of our curriculum and they want to divide us from God because the cabal, through their own actions, they have stepped away from God. So they mean, again, we are living in a world that is a reflection of the cabal. They wish to make us exactly like them. But even when we are exactly like them, they still despise us. So they have lost their connection to the divine. They want to sever our connection to the divine. That is why we live in a culture that has no godliness in it any longer. We do also lack honesty. Like, if we live in a culture or a society where we can actually say that if a man dresses like a woman, it makes him somehow a woman, and if we can live in a culture where we can say that there's no biological difference between men and women, and therefore men could compete with women, and they don't actually have any sort of a advantage in terms of their athletic abilities, that's also being dishonest. So this is, again, one second, baby. This is, again, all of it is by design. It's getting people to be deceitful even to themselves, even to one another. So no God, you're absolutely right. There is no God. There is no honesty. And nobody has to actually take accountability for their own feelings because in 1 second, no one has to take accountability for their own feelings because it's like, you're making me feel offended. You can't say that. It's like, I'm sorry, what now? How about you just take accountability for your own feelings instead of saying, I can't say what I want to? Yes, darling.
Yeah, like, Mom, so the WNBA,
which has men playing in it.
Yeah. I had it
as well as tennis.
Moves the three-point line in.
Yeah.
And WNBA players still shoot worse from three-point range.
They do?
There's no athletic advantage for men, even though they move. So
he's bringing up a great point.
So, Mom, women shoot like 33% from 3-point.
So Pip is saying that in the you got to stop that because the camera's jumping around,
I'm
baby.
trying to talk to you.
You can talk to me. Stop jumping around. I want to share with them what you're saying.
My conversation, okay? And so from that distance, WNBA players shoot about 33%.
So what Pip is saying, oh my God.
NBA players shoot about 40% from that range. There's no athletic advantage.
Can I please share that with everybody? Okay. This is why I try to do live streams when Pip is in school. In the WNBA, which is the women's version of the NBA, they move the three-point line closer to the basket. And even with the 3-point line being moved closer to the basket, the women still don't shoot as well in the 3-point range as the men do in the men's version of the NBA. So Pip is saying there's a huge biological difference between men and women. I mean, look, this is a 9-year-old kid. A 9-year-old kid knows this. You have people running around, grown-ass adults proclaiming there's no difference between men and women. Make it make sense. Lisa, I don't want to be against other Americans. We are all Americans, no matter what. We are supposed to be united America. So that's also why they cause so much division, Lisa, because again, what's the expression? United we stand, divided we fall. That's why there's been so much division in the country. The us versus them mentality. Alessandra, but nobody said that. I'm sorry, I don't know what you mean, but nobody said that. Oh, hold on. Race is a social construct. That's according to Denisha. Denisha, critical race theory is regarding the justice system. Steve, too low vibe for this tribe. I agree, baby. Alessandra, is it weird how they pull the group? Wait, let me start that again. Is it weird how they pull the group people, but Kamala never assumed she deserved, quote, the black vote, end quote, ever? She put forth policy and said nothing about identity politics. I think that's a really interesting observation that you're making, Alessandra. Denisha, symbolism over substance, and this society embraces the symbolism. Oh, isn't that the truth? Steve, it's so odd. Integrity is part of his narcissism, unlike KK. Jamie, I was never for politics except for this year. The last 4 years was crazy. So here's the thing, Jamie, you're actually proof of the fact that the last 4 years was a red pill designed to wake people up and get them invested again in what was going on with their country. Hello, Cindy. I'm so glad that you caught us, love. Cindy, as an Australian, I really don't know much about American politics, but speaking about looking at the person within, from what we are shown here, with the things Trump says, I've looked terrible within. Denisha, how many cycles have you had? I'm sorry, I don't know what you mean by that, love. Yes, Steve. Trump is for the nosebleed section. That is an excellent assessment that you just said. He has come here to be a disruptor to the status quo. That is absolutely correct, Steve. Steve, I am totally aware of another unawareness. As you said, 17, a chopper drives by. Yeah. Lisa Sims, I agree. I feel it in my soul that something isn't right, and I am being really triggered right now. I feel like it's going to help me start realizing something. Steve, at Jamie McKellar, classy hugs. Gujar, darling, you're speaking Indian. I don't know what you're saying, sweetheart. I'm sorry. Steve, quote, if one knew that God and the devil was real, why would one choose the devil if the story is they do not prevail? And hey, Jamara, I'm glad that you made it, darling. Oh, Steve, you're funny. Hey, Big J, that's very funny. Oh, Steve, I'm not even going to say that out loud, but I know that it was coming from a good place. I'm still not going to say it though. Steve, I love women, no doubt, but I ain't never seen one dunk. Here's a good question. I have a feeling Pip knows this.
That's so cool.
Yes, it is. Is the basket in the WNBA lower than in the men's NBA?
It's like 9-8 feet, and
Hold on. So it's how high is it in the regular NBA?
10 feet. And
So the basket is lower.
It's like 8 feet in the WNBA, and still there's only been 27 dunks. There's been over 100,000 dunks in the NBA.
Over 100,000 dunks in the NBA. Only 27 dunks in the WNBA.
But the WNBA has only been here for like 23 years. But yeah, still.
Hi, Kristen. I'm glad you made it.
Oh, Kristen.
Denisha, everything is hidden. Yes, it is hidden in plain sight. That's absolutely what you were just mentioning that a minute ago with all the symbolism. What is the symbolism if not them hiding in plain sight what it is that they have been doing all along? Oh, life cycle. How many life cycles I've had? I don't know, but a lot. Too many at this point, I must be thinking. Hey, Joe. I'm glad that you made it, darling. Steve, I am 27 times corrected. Thank you, Pip. Jamara, Pip knows his stuff. I know that's right. So he's like
about the NBA.
Maybe. He's a bit of like an encyclopedic knowledge when it comes to sports.
Yeah, just ask me
So again,
questions.
we
Don't
have
ask me about soccer. Though.
we have a 9-year-old child that knows more in terms of the fact that there is real biological differences between men and women than actual grown adult men and women that are choosing to proclaim that there is no actual biological difference. If there's no actual biological difference, why is it that men that are not professional swimmers are joining women's swimming leagues and they're setting new world records? And they're competing against women that have been swimming for years.
And they haven't swum professionally ever.
Jamara, speaking of life cycles, are we always the same gender? No, absolutely not. We have had...
Mom, can you be awake and then in your next lifetime be asleep?
Yep, it all depends, because we're I'm going to answer your question in a second, Jamara. We're all the cosmic creators of our own lifetimes. So if you, let's say, for example, somebody's been awake for the last 30 years, and they're like, fuck this shit, I gotta come back again, or they make the choice to come back again, they're like, you know what? I want to be asleep AF in my next lifetime. Like, again, to go back to the movie The Matrix and use it as an example, I forgot the character's name, but the one that basically is a turncoat, and he turns against Morpheus and his crew. So he says, I know, he's sitting down and he's eating a piece of steak. He's like, I know the steak isn't real, but man, is it good. So he says to the Agent Smith, he says, when I get plugged back in, I don't want to remember any of this, and I want to be somebody that has influence. And then he says, somebody like an actor. So that's kind of, look at it this way, that's a mini reveal, if you will, of what actually happens before we come into any incarnation. It's like, what experience do you want to have? Do you want to be somebody that has prominence or influence? Do you want to be a wallflower? Do you maybe want to be the wallflower that graduates and starts to break out of their shell? Do you want to be awake? Do you want to be asleep? Do you want to embrace your gifts and abilities? I remind you, we are all the cosmic creators of our realities. The one thing that cannot happen is if you are awake in one lifetime, you can't go back asleep in the same lifetime. Once you're awake, you're awake. It's like a jack in the box and the spring breaks. You cannot jam that jack back into the box ever again when the spring is broken. You could become black-pilled, but you are never going back asleep. You can never forget the things that you knew when you first woke up. But in a future incarnation, you can design it that you don't know nothing. You're going to be one of those people in the nosebleed section that don't see or know anything. That is absolutely very, very real. Now, to answer your question, Jamara, no, we are not one gender in all of our lifetimes. We've all had lifetimes being men. We've all had lifetimes being women. There's only 2 genders, so that's all we've ever been.
But Mom, is it possible for one soul to be one gender for all their incarnations?
You got to be careful where you're walking, love.
Is it possible?
If that's what they designed for themselves, then yes. So it is possible that somebody can choose that for themselves. Sure, certainly, it's a possibility. Denisha, things are so obvious it's painful. You can look at people and see their souls. Joe Granada, great question, Pep, right? I got a good one. Denisha, if they have souls. Yep. Lisa Sims, as a spiritual person, this world is too overwhelming at times. I done told my spiritual guides that I don't want to come back to this world. So that's what, this is a wild thing, and I don't want to take your very, very real feeling and assessment in this lifetime. I'm just going to say that what's been shown to me is whatever the experience, like, why do we choose to come back so many times? It's because when we are out of our body and we are aligned with God once again, and a lot of the human emotions that we experience that drive us to say while we are alive, I don't want to come back again, it vanishes when we're on the other side. Because the only emotion that exists, the only thing that's real on the other side is love. We look at ourselves with nothing but compassion and love. The way that our guides and our guardian angels and our vibe tribe on the other side, the way they look at us, the way God looks at us. So when the human emotions are stripped away, we can say, you know, I came here to have a particular lesson and I didn't have it in that last lifetime. I'll come back one more time. What's one more incarnation? Because that's what can happen on the other side. But yes, it has also been shown to me many times that people do choose to tap out. Like if you're done, you can just be like, you know what? Yeah, I had some other lessons lined up for myself. I actually don't want to experience them. I'm good. I'm really good. Like, I graduated from the earth plane. I'm ready to move on. You can absolutely do that even if you had other life lessons or soul contracts that you meant to work through. You can tap out. It's like the Staples done button. You can just tap out. You can click that button and you can say, I'm good. Actually, I'm tapping out. You can do that. Steve, LOL, you can be a lack in the box, but never a jack in the box. Jamie, I'm dancing in my kitchen eating cake. I love that, girl. I love that. You know what? I think tonight, I'm going to take Pip out for dinner and I think we're going to get some cake. I think we deserved it. We earned it, right?
We definitely did.
I think we're getting cake tonight. That's it. We're celebrating. We're celebrating, guys. Everybody should be celebrating. You know what I did last night, actually? I went to the grocery, today's Wednesday, so yesterday. Trader Joe's has this amazing new cheese. It's like a freaking cheesecake. So I came home, I snacked on it a little bit, and then last night, while I was watching Trump's victory speech, I sat down.
You already won by last night?
So even though Kamala didn't call to congratulate him, some networks, not the left-leaning networks, but some networks, I think it was maybe Fox, they actually called it. So I think after one network called it, he actually felt confident going out and saying something.
And Mom,
and then I'll talk to you about the cheesecake in a minute.
By 2 in the morning when I woke up,
Yeah.
AP had called it.
Yes. But how do you know that?
I checked.
You're amazing. Look at this kid, he's amazing. So I had some of this delightful cheese and then I took a shower and then I came out of the shower and I was sitting down watching Trump's speech. I was like, I devoured it, guys. This cheese is so darn good. It was like cheesecake. I devoured it. It doesn't exist. There's no evidence of it ever existing. Kamala Mamala. It was so good. It's like it has fruit and like chocolate chips in it, and it's like ricotta cheese, but it's like, I'm sorry, it was like a cheesecake. So I'll be gaining weight because I definitely foresee myself eating a lot more of this cheesecake delightfulness. It was like a freaking dessert.
It's a thing.
It's a thing. It was a freaking dessert, guys. Jamara, interesting. I'm always thinking about this rhetoric around divine feminine, men versus women. So it was a soul choice. Interesting. Yes. Hey, Tiffany. I'm glad you caught us, love. Steve, yes, Jamie. Can I lick the icing off the floor? Same. Jamie, not one crumb has dropped. Because it must be that good if not one crumb has dropped. Steve, I will survive was covered by cake. Denisha, how can we see, speak, and be informed about our spirit guides? Just decide that you want to start a relationship with them and start communing with them. That's it. Just decide that you want to have a relationship with them, Denisha. That's it. There's some things that I would recommend doing in advance, like making sure that you have a meditation practice, making sure that you gotta stop jumping around, love. Making sure that you've cleaned up your vibration as best you can, because here's the thing with our guides. Look at your guides as a satellite system. I know that sounds weird. Now I covered this in the video that I had done on guides, guardian angels, and our higher self. You can also go back and watch that video if you haven't yet seen it. But look at your guides like they are a satellite system. And just like, for example, if we wanted to listen, I don't listen to the radio since I live out here, so I'm going to use like for the radio station in New York, for example, because that's the one I remember. Just like, for example, if I was in New York right now and I wanted to listen to pop music, I would tune my radio to 100.3 with the expectation of listening.
100.3.
That's the radio station that played pop music. But if I wanted to listen to rock, I would tune my radio station to 92.7. So by cleaning up our vibration, it's going to allow us to tune into the highest vibration satellite system, i.e. guides. There are some people that have a darker energy, and thus then therefore, when they're tuning into guides, they're going to be tuning into darker energies. No judgment to them. This is something that has come up time and again on this channel. I've been asked many on separate different occasions. I've looked into it on many separate different occasions for AMAs as well. Why is it there are so-called, psychics or spiritual people in the spiritual community or people that proclaim to be empaths, but the information that they are picking up on is incredibly dark? How is that possible? That's a reflection of their own internal vibration. It's the equivalent of their vibration tuning them in to 100.3 and hearing pop music. But I, for example, if I wanted to hear pop music, I wouldn't turn into 92.7 because 92.7 was the rock and roll channel. But when you connect with your guides, it's determined by your vibration. So if you want to connect to the high vibe guides, if you want to tune into that particular satellite, the way that you do that is meditation, cleaning up your vibration. Those are the things that I would recommend first and foremost. You got to stop doing that, buddy, or do it in a different room. Those are the things that I would recommend doing if you want to. But you need not do anything to start having a relationship with your guides. You just got to say, hey, yo, guides, what's up? I'm declaring right now, I want to have a relationship with you. And then be open to the way that they come in, because they come in a bunch of different ways. It might not literally be like you're going to hear a voice talking in your room to you or in your head to you. You just have to be open to the ways that they come in. That's why it's so important to have a meditation practice, because that is giving them the space to come in and start having a relationship with you. So I hope that answered your question that you didn't ask. Oh, no, you did. There was a question mark at the end. Steve, with that, it sounds like it should have been covered by No Doubt. I spoke about Gwen Stefani in the members live stream over the weekend, right? Homegirls had a lot of work done.
And the live stream was about only 2 hours.
Denisha, I want to be deeply connected. My vibe tribe on the other side. How? What needs to be done? Start meditating, girl. Clean up your vibration. Raise your vibration. Just meditate and say that you want to be connected to your vibe tribe on the other side. They work for you. They work with you. All you have to do is welcome them in. That's it. It's not like you have to do some fancy ceremony. You don't need to burn some sage or anything like that. Just get yourself into the right, headspace, the right vibe space. Just meditate and then just proclaim that you want their guidance and welcome them in. There's a segment I also did, Denisha, in a previous AMA about how to connect to your guides. And I remember what had come in was the guides had said, like, it's almost like a moot point, because asking how to be reunited with them implies that there's a separation or a division. There is no separation or division. There's a veil, certainly, for those of us that are not ready or don't want to actually commune with our vibe tribe on the other side, or our ancestors or our guides. But when you're ready for it, they're with us all the time. We just don't know that they're with us. So all you have to do is say, I'm ready. Come in. I want to start a dialogue. I want to have a relationship with you. And they're already with you. So there's really nothing that you need to do. Steve, he already won by last night. Yes, Pip. Well, keep in mind he went to sleep earlier. This is a 9-year-old child. So homeboy wasn't up until midnight watching the victory speech like I was. Nor would that have been appropriate for a 9-year-old to have been up at that time watching a speech. Jamara, out of all times.
I went on a camping trip and I got home at like 10:30.
I know you came home late.
It would actually make sense. When did I take a bath? When did my bath end? Probably
Close to 11.
Then why wasn't I awake?
Because you were so knocked out, buddy boy. Holy shit, this kid was in bed. He was out like 10 minutes later. He was bombed. He was bomb.com. Jamara, out of all times, my dog is now asking me to go outside. BRB, hold the goods. I got you, girl. Oh, Franca, I'm so glad you made it, love. I'm listening from work, looking forward to this. I'm glad that you made it, Franca, darling. Steve, Gloria Gaynor versus Gwen Stefani. Steve, I made tater tot hot dish the other night. Oh no, that's Jamie. Jamie, I'm coming over for dinner. You're making me hungry, darling. Lisa, that sounds good, Faye. I have certain foods, like I call my comfort foods, and I don't know, I just feel a certain way whenever I have them. There is nothing wrong with comfort foods, and I'm actually going to share with you guys, when I was going through my spiritual awakening, I was like, thank God I was in hermit mode, because if anyone came over and would have seen what I was eating,
like what?
Like it was just crazy. Like I would vacillate between super healthy because I was kind of like in between two different like vibes.
Mama.
So 1 second, I'm answering the question. So part of the time I was eating real comfort food, like the shit of the shit of the shit, like mac and cheese, and part of the time it was just like all salads all the time, and I was like just going back and forth in between. But I craved, like I would make lasagna all the time because I love Italian food. Like I was for sure like in like a past lifetime I was for sure like some Don's wife or something like that. Because like how do I know so much about the club? I must have had like an in a past lifetime. I had so much lasagna during that time, it was shameful. So much big ziti during that. For shame. So much Italian food. And then I would also just like be eating salad for like a week straight, or I wouldn't even be eating. Like it was just craziness. 1 second. So clinging to comfort food is not a bad thing, Lisa. It's an indication. I wouldn't quite say that it's attachment. I would more say when we cling to comfort food, it's a sign that we are in unknown territory. We're in a vibration that doesn't yet feel completely familiar to us. Thus, then, therefore, we want to cling to food that does feel familiar to us. There is no shame in eating comfort food. Not for Lisa, not for anybody. Like, you do you, boo. If you just want to have like a good whatever your comfort food is, go for it. It's not a bad thing. It's really, really not.
Mom.
Yes, darling. Yes, Denise, you're really that simple.
When we were really, really healthy, at least I couldn't eat some like really bad foods like Lay's. Even when we weren't that healthy, I still couldn't.
Because something about, so we're really in the house, and we're really, really healthy in the house right now. And I think I shared this with you guys, like I got rid of all seed oils. But even when I didn't know about how poisonous seed oils were, there were certain things I just wouldn't let Pip eat, and I didn't know why. I think it was because my internal tuning system was just like, no. One of the things I would never let him eat, and I don't know why, was Lay's potato chips. Whatever the reason was. Then I think a couple of years ago, I actually saw somebody had shared, like, I'm not making this up, guys. I haven't verified it, but there's like aborted fetus cell tissue in Lay's potato chips, and also in like Gatorade and shit like that. And those are things I never ever let Pip have, ever. It's almost like the resonance in me was just directing him away from it, just away. So thank God for that. Like Lay's potato chips are the worst. And Gatorade is all, like if you need electrolytes, just go get yourself like a coconut water. You do not need the amount of sugar and food coloring and shit ingredients that are in Gatorade. I don't care where you live, you do not. Denisha, I'll be seeing you soon. Clean my vibration. I got you, girl. Hello for Sao. Late to the party, but hey everybody, you are right on time. You're never late. Whenever you show up, it's exactly the right time for you to be here. So you're right on time, darling. Steve, that's why it's funny. Steve, I fiend for pastas and bread so much. Lasagna like Garfield and Mexican like Speedy Gonzalez. Faye, can neon gummy worms be my comfort food? It depends if you want to eat the shit ingredients that are in them. Because here's the thing, the food dye that's in them are terrible. But again, as I always say, you do you, boo. Like, I'm just going to give you the information. What you choose to do with it is entirely up to you.
Yes, I don't think it's healthy if they're putting things that make it neon.
Yeah, well, can you get me a paper towel because my drink... Hold on, I gotta get a drink because I gotta get a paper towel because my drink is making rings on my desk, and I'm gonna talk now, and I don't like having rings on my desk. I know, but hold on, I gotta wipe it first.
I'll give you a coaster.
Give me the coaster, but I gotta wipe it first. So hang on.
Okay, let's also move it so I can place down the coaster. I'm being very careful. I see the screen, and I see where.
Thank you, sweetie. I appreciate that.
My face was not seen.
Good. My non-sponsored drink, agua de café. If anyone has a contact with them, contact me for sponsorship. I drink you even though it's not sponsored. I publicize it even though it's not sponsored. I love this shit. I only will buy 2 at a time when I go to the store.
Why do you only buy 2 at a time?
Because I feel like I should primarily be drinking water and coconut water and things like that. Nah. This is like a healthy version of a soda to me, so I really drink it rather sparingly. Okay. Let me catch up on some comments here. Beth, my eating habits are just too bad to discuss publicly. There's no shame in it, honey. I'm telling you, their comfort food serves a purpose. It really, really does. I don't shame people on what they eat for that reason because I know what I was eating at that time, and I know that it would have been shameful if people were actually. It's like pregnancy eating. What I ate when I was pregnant was bizarre.
Like what?
That was the time when I was eating like pizza with like I would get like. I'd go to I forgot the name of the place. There was, I think it's called Blaze Pizza, where you could make your own personal pies. I went there so much, guys. I would get super spicy tomato sauce.
That sounds really good.
It's really, but super spicy. I would get it with onions, green peppers, pineapple, and cheese. It was amazing.
Mom.
It was amazing. But, like, you know, the food you eat when you're pregnant, it tastes different, and I think God created it that way because we want to have healthy babies. So food, at least in my food has never tasted as good as it tasted when I was pregnant, and it's never tasted as good before then or since then either. Like, it's just a fact. So look at it this way, just like God made it that way, that food tastes so darn good when you're pregnant because we're growing a human life inside of us and we want to have a healthy child thereafter. 1 second. It's the same thing when you're going through a spiritual awakening.
Maybe that's why I hate spicy food so much, because I kept on having too much. So now I just don't like it at all.
That is very possible.
I had it too much, so now I don't like it at all.
When you were in utero, you had...
In utero?
Yeah, when you were the bump.
Okay.
In utero, you were in my uterus at the time. You were in utero. The amount of spicy food that I had at that time, off the charts. I also had a lot of milk, and milk is something I really do not.
At least milk is good for you.
Milk is good for you. I had so much cereal and milk. It's like my eating habits were completely bizarre.
Mom,
did everything taste so good.
Just like maybe I had too much milk, so now I just eat my cereal without milk.
There you go.
Okay.
It's very possible. Jamie, my favorite meal of all time is spaghetti. I could eat it every day. Girl, you and me both. I live for Italian food. I will never say no to a good Italian meal. I just will not. I have to really restrict myself from eating it because I could eat it every day, all day, and be very content with it. So I really have to kind of like hold myself back from it. Yes, yes, Steve, in all Pepsi products. You know what's up, yes. Denisha, can we create boundaries with our guides? Yes, like setting times, yes. Creating a routine so they know, yes. There's a video that I did, Denisha. I want to say it's 3 weeks to change your life and raise your vibration. I think that's the video in which I talk about it. How you can create boundaries when you're ready to work with your guides. There's a lot of information in that video that I think you're going to benefit from. I would watch that one, and I would also watch, I have a playlist called High Vibe Life. Go through all the videos in High Vibe Life because I think there's a lot of information that's really going to resonate to you, Denisha. Okay, dear? But yes, you can absolutely create boundaries. I want you to look at communing with your guides as if you own your own business. You have a brick and mortar store. You have an answering machine in your business. When you're not there, if somebody calls your store, they're going to leave a message on your answering machine. If someone goes to your store and it's 9 o'clock at night and you've already left for the day, the lights are going to be off, the door is going to be locked, and there's going to be a sign that says closed, please come again. And when you go in the morning to your business, if someone calls, you answer the phone. If someone comes in, the lights are on, the door is open, and there's a sign on the door that says welcome, please come in. Meditation is the boundary that you create. Meditation is the equivalent of when you are going into your business in the morning, you turn the lights on, you unlock the door, you turn the sign around that says welcome, please come in. But if we don't create boundaries, sometimes your guides are going to bleed into your everyday regular life, especially if you invite them in. That is why meditation is so important, because that's the boundary. That's the time that you are setting aside to commune with your guides. Natasha, hello, darling. Hello from Belgium. I'm so glad that you're joining us from Belgium.
Go Belgium.
Yes, Steve, even in their water. Steve knows what's up. And that's so-called purified water. Okay. But if the purified water is not even safe to drink, how the heck is the free water supply that we know is poison? How is that safe to drink? Make it make sense. We can't. Steve, Jack Bauer's preferred beverages is aqua di kefir. Oh, yeah. I know who you're referencing, but I haven't seen the show. But I know who you're referencing. For Sao, I was in an orphanage from birth to 2 and 2.5, and they used to give, oh God, they used to give us Coca-Cola instead of milk. Today I don't like that drink. Oh, it's okay. It's okay. When we know better, we can do better. You know, I used to eat a lot of shit, you know, especially seed oils. I know better. Now I can do better. It's okay. And you know, like your cells regenerate every 7 years or something like that anyway. So you can always heal whatever is going on inside of your body because our cells regenerate. But I'm sorry that happened, dear. Millie, oh my God, I had a bag of Lay's a few days ago and the bag said, quote, appetizing on it, end quote. Big red flag. What kind of junk food needs to convince you that it's appetizing if they're, yes. Correct, Millie, you got it. Denisha, you should do a live read one day. I do them, honey. I do live sometimes with the, so here's the thing, if you do like a donation, I'll do a mini energy read. I do that all the time with my members.
And maybe you should do that with regular.
Maybe if you guys want it, I will. I mean, it's available always. Lisa, I am interested and curious about the energy behind. Yes, I have Christmas on my list, honey. I am looking forward to that video whenever you make it. I'm gonna try to make it and release it around Christmas time. I like to kind of do that. I don't know. I haven't looked into it. Not yet. There's a lot on the list, and you guys, my members know if you caught the last members live stream, the DIY project has taken over my life. I need to finish it so I can go back to my normal life because I just need to. Like, it's literally taken over my life. And at night when I want to be either reading or I want to be channeling, I'm instead doing DIY projects. I just need to move on. I'm going to finish it up hopefully over this weekend, and my life will go back to normal, back to regular scheduled program. And also, guys, you can decide. I'm not going to open up a poll. You can just kind of weigh in. What do you want? Because I think next week I'm going to do maybe a mini energy read, and then I'm also going to do one long form video. You can decide what you want for next week. Do you want an AMA or do you want the video on T-Swift? You guys can decide. You can let me know in the comments down below.
I want T-Swift.
You want T-Swift?
Yeah, because
we have one vote for T-Swift. Beth, I agree, Faye, about the food during pregnancy. It was the only time, right? I'm telling you, like, what the heck? I have like
what?
Like a little, like a little fuzz. You know, like lint. Sometimes you have like lint floating around. I have like lint floating around me. I'm telling you, it's from this DIY project.
It's not.
It's really taking over my
It's
life
not
and more
probably
than.
from like your clothes.
Maybe it is.
The cotton.
Maybe this is a flannel shirt. It could be. By the way, guys, I'm wearing a men's shirt. Isn't that cute? I have a thing for flannel shirt. Like winter time is my season. I come alive in the winter, but only California winter. Like East Coast winters, no.
No,
No, thank you. But like I come like my wardrobe gets really cute in the winter. California winters, again, I have to preface it, because I could wear like my jeans with cute little boots, and I wear a little flannel with a vest. It's my season, so I'm very excited. I'm wearing a flannel today. It's my first flannel. It's my inaugural flannel season of the fall, and it's a new one. It's a men's shirt. It was a little bit weird when I was buttoning it, because you know men's shirt button the opposite way. There's no difference between genders except for, of course, the shirts. The shirts button differently on a man's shirt and a woman's shirt. Okay, sure, but there's no other difference. It was a little weird when I was buttoning it, but I was like, damn, if this is not just the cutest damn shirt ever. I'm kind of having a love affair with it, but I'm also just wearing joggers and I'm not really styled, so forgive me. If anyone ever comes out to California or I'm visiting where you are, I promise I'll make an effort. I'll put myself together. I do, at least for the upper portion, put myself together for the screen, but like, I just live for my joggers when I'm home. Back to comments. Steve, what is that? Cinomix HEK293. I'm not sure what that is. Is that an ingredient? Steve? Steve, act for so, Coke instead of milk. It really is wild. Pissed off empath, message retweeted. You're most welcome. Steve, let's not forget to click that like. Thank you, Steve. I appreciate that. You're most welcome, Steve. Beth, thanks for the reminder, Steve. Denisha, I want to do another 60-day juice cleanse, but the produce prices are ridiculously insane. Also, here's the thing. Winter is not the time to do it, honey. Do it in the spring. Think about the energy of a particular season. If we work in accordance with the energy of a season, we can actually work more in harmony with nature, and we can naturally start to raise our vibration. But winter is not the time to do a juice cleanse. It's not the time to do a parasite cleanse. It's not the time to start a New Year's resolution either.
Because, it's supposed to
Pick
start
those.
in March. That made
You want to do new things, regenerative practices in the springtime, not the winter time.
It should either like March or maybe even like June, starting summer.
Spring, because spring is a time of renewal. So if you want to renew something, start it in the spring. Start it in the beginning of Aries season, which is the end of March. That's the actual zodiacal New Year, not the dead of winter. This is why New Year's resolutions fail. You don't start something new in the dead of winter. You start it during it. Winter is all about hunkering down. It's a time of less light than dark. You can't start, it's not a fortuitous time to start something new for that reason. So hold off on your juice cleanse until the spring. I'm going to be doing another parasite cleanse in the spring, but I'm holding off until then because this is not a fortuitous time to start it. Don't start new projects now. Think about, right now it's fall, it's harvest season. This is when people are bringing their crops in. They're getting ready to hunker down into the long winter.
Not starting, like...
Don't start something right now, honey.
Yeah, like, I have to lose weight. Okay, find a store that's gonna sell things and not die of coldness if you're in the refrigerator section.
There you go.
Mom.
It's also normal, and it's okay
Mom,
if you gain weight during this time as well. Keep that in mind.
Mom,
Yes, love.
so it's refrigerated.
Yes.
There's probably an AC in the building, and it's also winter. You'll be lucky if you don't die of coldness.
I don't want to die of coldness.
Me neither.
Denisha said yes, thanks, Pip. Steve, I got you, Beth, and all of us. Denisha, when will the next time you do it, I can make a donation? Make a donation right now and ask me whatever you want to ask, honey. Sarah said the AMA. Jamie said the AMA. Steve, at Pissed Off Empath. You can just do a super chat right now and get going. Exactly. Lisa, so we have 2 for AMA, 2 for T-Swift. Lisa, you're so cute. She has it as a question mark. Taylor Swift? Question mark. It's okay. You can decide that that's what you want. It doesn't have to be a question mark. Denisha, after miscarriage, does your baby spirit energy stay around you? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Lisa, so I actually did a segment in a previous AMA, Denisha, that I had done on... It's the same... I don't know what the Pip, what's it called? The image on a video? What's it called?
Thumbnail?
Thumbnail. I always get it confused with the thumb drive. I don't know what the thumbnail is. It's in an AMA. I did 2 segments back to back that are going to kind of answer your question about that. It's the same one with Adam Walsh from America's Most Wanted. It's the segment directly after that. I actually answer your question. If they stay with you on this side or if they actually go on to grow up on the other side. It depends. It's not just a yes or no. It's not like one rule applies to everybody. Yes, Lisa. And the interesting thing is, this is why I've actually tried to channel on the airplane in the past, and I wasn't able to. I was actually able to connect to Taylor's energy when I was on an airplane. I was flying back from New York. I was on an airplane, and suddenly I was like, I don't know. I think I was just like so relaxed. My mind just floated to her, and like information started to come in. So this is why I always travel with a pen and a notebook, because it's like I don't know when the information's going to come in. I put down whatever it is that I was doing. I took out my notebook and I just went with it, and I got like 15 pages of notes. So yes, Homegirl's getting her own video. Beth, of course I'm perfectly happy with what I know, Beth. I know. Okay, so we got 3 votes for Taylor, 2 for AMA. Thank you so much, Joe Granada. I got 3 new flannel shirts. Very excited about them. This is the only men ones. I mean, I have no problem wearing men's clothing. If I like it, I like it. I've bought men's clothing in the past. I primarily buy women's clothing, but like if I'm in H&M and I see like a cute men's sweater or sweatshirts, I'll just buy it in a small and I'll just wear it. I don't care. Like, clothing is clothing. Like, the clothing does not make the man, nor the woman. The hair does not make the man, nor the woman. I'm not butch because I have short hair. I'm not a man because I have short hair. Nor would a man having long hair suddenly make them a woman either. Just leaving that there. But thank you, Joe. I appreciate the compliment. Denisha, at Villain, I want to respect her time and she may not have time to do that. It's okay, honey. I'm here. I am in service to you guys. I'm on for about another 45 minutes or so because I have a consultation with a client at 3:30 my time. So I'm going to be on for just a little while longer. Thank you, Jamie. You always look cute, Faye. Thank you. I wear 2 to 3. I know because it's so darn cold where you are. I wouldn't be able to survive in that climate. Steve, T-Swift lives off attention. I feel like if you're gonna do her, get her over with. LOL. So I already have the information on her, so I can just share whenever I want to. She gives you no time of day, and she likes your dark doppelganger Venom meets Carnage to try to survive vibes. Thank you, Steve. You eat T-Swift for lunch. Thank you, Beth. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, Millie. Steve, Sinomix HEK293 is the name of the ingredients that is the aborted fetus byproduct in the PepsiCo Fun Foods line lawsuit. There we go. Thank you, Steve. Thank you for pointing that out. I knew that wasn't something false that I had read. Steve, if anyone wanted to research the truth, for Sal at Steve, Circle Oracle, yes, the orphanage in Colombia was sponsored. An orphanage was sponsored by Coca-Cola? Damn, that's suspicious. It was cheaper for the orphanage to have Coca-Cola instead of milk, but I'm good now, no worries. Denisha, I would never do a New Year's resolution. I don't believe in them. And part of the reason they also fail is because it's not in accordance with universal and seasonal divine timing. Steve, Pip, come live in Canada.
I don't want to live in Canada.
Sorry, Steve.
It's going to be colder than in
It's going to be cold, and hopefully all of the entitled superstars that were coming out of the woodwork to endorse Kamala, hopefully they're all going to be moving to Canada like they promised back in 2015 when he won the first time. Bye, Felicia. Ain't nobody need you and your toxic ass fucking energy anyway. Bye, Felicia. Bye. We need you not. Jamara, we have a vote for T-Swift. Lisbeth said AMA. Hi, Lisbeth. I think we're at 4 for AMA, 3 for T-Swift.
No. It's 3.
4 all?
No. It's 4 T-Swift, 3 AMA.
4 T-Swift, 3 MA.
I'm pretty sure. Isn't it AMA, not just MA?
No, I said AMA. Denisha, I'm new. Oh, okay. So AMA stands for Ask Me Anything. So the AMAs are where you guys will ask me topics that you want me to look into, either as comments in videos that I have done in the past, or they are, if I open up the forum in the community section, where you guys can comment on what you want me to look into. So it stands for Ask Me Anything, and it's your guys' directed topics that you want me to look into. So it's one long video full of various different topics that you guys have asked me to look into. That's what the AMA is, and that's what it stands for. Force out Taylor Swift and AMA. I like it a lot.
Yeah, it's actually a good. Wait, that means it's 1 for both technically. So
one for both technically. Hold on, Jamara voted for the AMA.
Okay, now it's 5-5.
5-5. Steve, the only reason you could connect with T-Swift on an airplane because it was so easy to go over her head. Excellent, Steve, as usual. Franca, AMA for me, 2, but I am curious about Taylor Swift. Well, the beauty is I'm going to do videos on both of them. It's just a question on when you actually want them. But
which one is first?
Which one is first? You're going to get them both anyway. Jamara.
Of course we're going to get an Ask Me Anything. Of course we don't just, it's not going to be like we're abolishing Ask Me Anything.
The AMAs are here to stay, guys. I try to do them every single month, but they don't always work out that way. Jamara, what do you do for fun as Team High Vibe, like real excitement for you? What's that? Excitement? I don't know what that is.
I don't.
I'm a single mom. I don't know what excitement is.
I think I know what you like. things that adults like watching your things that parents like watching your kids play or cleaning. Yeah.
I love this kid. You know what he said I like to do? Like things like adults like watching your kid and play and cleaning.
Like cleaning. Yeah.
I do like
cleaning crystals.
Yes.
You love cleaning.
So here's the thing. I do like cleaning because a cluttered house is a cluttered mind for me. My brain just doesn't function well. That's what led to me kicking off this whole DIY project from hell, because one thing led to another, which led to another, which led to another. We're not going into it. It's completely consumed my life. I'm really ready to move on from it at this point. I want to get to the fun part of DIY, which is when it's done and I can decorate. That's the fun. I like decorating. That's what I do for fun. I decorate.
Yeah.
I decorate. I take care of a child. I take care of plants. I read. I channel. I work out.
You take care of yourself.
I take care of myself. That's what I do for fun. That's it. I don't have low vibe tendencies or behavior any longer. That a lot of deep shadow work went into getting onto the other side of my self-destructive tendencies, which, like everybody, I had. But a lot of shadow work got me onto the other side of it, and I'm healthier mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically for all of it. And for that, I am very grateful. We have another vote for Taylor Swift.
Okay, so now it's like what?
I don't know. 6-5. Steve, no, we don't want them. We have enough as it is. Yes, Denisha. It's not just Beyonce that's going down. It's all of them. What was so notable about, think about all the people that came out to support Kamala publicly.
Kamala Mamala.
Any overlap with who was friends or associated with Diddy? Any overlap? Any? There's a great video of, what's her name? Jennifer Lopez. Not where she was on stage live with Kamala, but she's standing in like an office, and I think it was used for like promotional material. She's standing with Kamala, and she says, so J-Lo is standing next to her, and she says, I'm so excited to be here today to support, and then she stopped for a minute, and she looked at Kamala, like she forgot who she was there to endorse. She's like, or maybe she didn't want to be there. She's like, I'm really excited to be here today to support Kamala Harris. She needed to see who it was, because obviously she didn't want to be there. She wasn't excited about supporting her. She had to be there. So it's not just Beyonce that's going down, girl. They're all going down. It might not be big, and it might not be over the top as it is with Diddy, because even what's coming out about Diddy is not the full breadth and scope. It's a little bit of information that's palatable to the most amount of people in the world. Because to a lot of people thinking that Hollywood is weird, they do weird shit, they're into like weird sexual debauchery, it's not a stretch of the imagination. The truly dark shit that he was up to is in a members video that I did on P. Diddy, and that is not necessarily the stuff that is going to be put out onto the world stage, because that would be subverting people's free will. So they're releasing just enough that's palatable for the most amount of people, but it's not done in a big overt way where it is subverting people's free will.
Mom, I
Like,
need
hold
to
on a
find
second.
my soccer ball.
Watch, dude, you gotta watch where you're walking.
I need to find my soccer
I'm
ball.
not right now.
Pause.
Just also
Pause
think
what you're doing.
No. I'm sorry, guys. 1 minute. Come with me to the other room.
Yes. So, help me.
after the live stream. Now you have to watch where you're going because I don't want you to get hurt.
Well, I'm
okay?
going to keep cuddling you.
I know you want to keep cuddling me, but how's that going to work?
Sorry.
Right? I can't go on camera if you're cuddling me.
Sorry. I'm staying.
Here, come back with me, but you can't cuddle me, okay? I'll hold your hand. I forgot what I was saying now. I was going somewhere and it was fire. Where was I going? Somebody please remind me what I was saying before I had to get off camera for a minute here.
I'm pretty sure you're talking about
It's not going to be done in a way where it's going to subvert people's free will. Watch where you're going. You cannot do that. It's making the tripod and my phone jump around.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. So it's not going to be done in a big overt way that's, oh, here, this is what I was saying.
Yeah.
Think about
That is what you're saying.
everything that's kind of come out about celebrities and their charitable organizations, we could say. So we know that Oprah had allegations. We know that the charitable organization that Steven Tyler was associated with had allegations of abuse. Madonna's had allegations of abuse. All of this is drip, drip, drip. They're dripping just enough information for all of us so that if it catches our attention and we want to fall down some rabbit holes and we want to do some research, or if something clicks in our mind and we're like, wait a minute, why are there so many celebrities that have charitable organizations that have allegations of abuse? What's that about? It's done in a way where it's just a gentle drip, drip, drip release of information, not overt, because that would be subverting our free will. One thing the white hats or Team High Vibe will not do is subvert our free will, because that is the calling card of the cabal. Team High Vibe has a different playbook. They're not going to subvert our free will. If the first tenet of the cabal is something called the law of karmic retribution, which is they can do whatever they want to do as long as they tell you they've been doing it or they're going to do it. The first tenet in Team High Vibe's playbook would be the law of non-interference. They're not going to interfere. They're going to only create contrast, which is what the last 4 years have been. But the reason they create contrast is because contrast is something that is created naturally in the universe anyway. And contrast is naturally created in the universe through our own choices, our decisions, and our vibration. So Team High Vibe can create contrast because contrast already exists. And contrast exists for us as we are leveling up or as we are down leveling. Because the choices that we make will determine the life that plays out around us. Again, we're the cosmic creator of our reality, not just prior to being born, but in the day-to-day as well. So Faye from 5 years ago, for example, who didn't do the deep shadow work, could still be making bad choices that could be affecting me and my health. I made a choice to do the deep shadow work. That changed my vibration then and continues to change it now with the decisions I make in the day-to-day. Contrast exists naturally. So the white hats can introduce contrast because that exists around us anyway. But they will never subvert our free will. So they're only going to release enough that if somebody wants to fall down some rabbit holes, they can, but not where it's going to take over their entire life. Team Darkside, however, will. Yes, Lisa, a lot of celebrities are going down. Jamara, oops, no AMA. I had T-Swift. I was in, I got you, Jamara. Okay. Franca, hi Faye. Did anyone ask you about Liam Payne? So, Franca, it was in the last members live stream. Somebody did ask about it and I did answer what was going on with him. He was in the boy band One Direction. I'm curious if there was foul play. Thank you. So the interesting thing about what came in with Liam Payne, he was not conscious, so to say, at the time that he crossed over. Because when I connected to his energy, what came in was he went to sleep the night before. He woke up at some point in the middle of the night, and then the next thing he knew, he was out of his body. So he was not conscious. However, him not being conscious doesn't mean he was literally taken out of his bed and he was unalive. The action was his, but the action was done under the influence, but not like under the influence of drugs or alcohol. It was more like done under the influence of mind control. So one could say the decision was not actually entirely his at all. He was not even consciously in his mind at the time that he crossed out of his body. Because he crossed out of his body and he was like, wait, what? Where am I? Because the last memory he had was going to sleep, waking up in the middle of the night, and then he was out of his body. But we know he didn't cross over in his sleep. He was awake when he crossed over. It was done under mind control of some kind. Then, thus, therefore, yes, foul play was involved. He was driven, if you will, not through his own accord or his own impulses to do what he had done. Jamara, LOL Faye, I do love to clean and interior too. Though mood and atmosphere setting, I feel that. It's my life. I love decorate. I love.
True.
Right? Pip knows. Like, I just love decorating. It feeds my soul. And for sure, there's like another version of me playing out in a different timeline right now where I am an interior designer or I am an interior decorator. It brings me so much immense joy and happiness. And it's just everything to me. It's just everything. Like if I'm feeling stressed out, I clean up. If I'm feeling like I don't have enough creativity, I'll start moving things around in my apartment because that's what boosts a sense of creativity inside of me. So girl, you and me, we same energy. Yes, also J-Lo, of course. Jamara, the days are so long now. What is daylight savings really about? Oh my God, they did something. It's designed to throw us out of balance, behind the veil.
Yeah, but Mom, in front of the veil, the person that invented it wanted more time to catch bugs.
Whatever the explanation they gave is complete bullshit.
Yeah.
The actual behind the veil explanation for daylight savings time is it's just like, for example, this is thing floating around online that I saw. If we had 13 months instead of 12, every month would have exactly 28 days. What also usually has 28 days? Do my fellow women know? It's a woman's cycle. So 12 months and all the months have different number of days and our cycle, we never know what the actual about it, right? Like it's just to throw us out of alignment with nature. Just like everyone does a New Year's resolution in the winter, not a fortuitous time because we're not living in alignment with nature. We are not living in alignment with our environment. Hence the name solar flow, because when our soul aligns with our environment, aligns with the cosmos, aligns with nature, we can flow that much easier. So daylight savings time was just done to another way of throwing our bodies out of alignment with our environment. And boy, does it do a good job of throwing us out of alignment. Lisa, his crossing was suspicious. Joe Granada, yes, I was a P. Diddy spin-off party. I don't know what that means, darling. Denisha, LOL, I laugh at that video. Steve, what do my guides recommend I focus on most at this time in order to move forward with the most momentum and the best results to keep on going? This is something that's consistently come up with you, Steve. I'm being shown birds chirping like around your ears. What do birds always represent? It's either information, messages, communication. So this can either be actual communication that you hear going on around you, or it can also be thoughts in your own mind that are self-limiting thoughts and beliefs that you have about yourself right now. So what can you do to clean all of that up? So another way of saying it is, how can you fortify yourself on an energetic level so that way you're not as immune, where you will be more immune and you will not be quite as susceptible to the chirping that is around you. Again, chirping can be your own thoughts. So, positive affirmations, Steve. Are you doing any positive affirmations? Start saying them now. Fortify yourself so that way when you hear something that is not high vibe or aligned with you, almost like, imagine it's being shown to me, turn a page. Turn a page. Reprogram your mind. So if you hear something and you don't like it, immediately reprogram your mind to do the opposite. So carry a notebook around with you, even if it's a small little notebook. If you hear something and it gets you going into a negative headspace or like a down spiral, immediately take out a pen and paper and start jotting the complete opposite of it. It's a way of, if you will, recalibrating your own vibration back to something that is more highly aligned. So positive affirmations, reprogramming your own mind through positive affirmations, as well as fortifying yourself against things that are not positively serving you. If you hear something, immediately, or if you have a thought, immediately go to writing out the complete opposite of it. It's canceling out the negative birds chirping in your ear that are pulling you out of vibration. Let me see if there's anything else. Are you token still? Stop token if you're token. You gotta stop token. A token or smoking of any kind. And I'm being shown, get out. I know it's probably cold where you are right now, but get out into nature, walk around if you can. Something about the clean air, it's actually going to reset you. It's going to be very, like, I'm being shown, like you can really fill yourself up on clean air. So get out into clean air as often as you can. It's going to help fill you up in a different kind of a way. Okay, so positive affirmations, carry a notebook around with you, fortify yourself, recalibrate yourself. Have you finished painting your wall, Steve? Have you finished decorating it in a more highly aligned kind of a way? That is also going to help you. I'm also shown something to do with your clothing. I don't know what it is. If you have anything that's very, very old, get rid of it. It's almost like the energy and the vibration of the clothing, if it's been around or it's been in your closet too long, it's been exposed, too exposed. It came in very too exposed. It's been too exposed to negative energy, and it's almost like it's holding on to it. What's the example that I always give? Imagine you have a friend that used to be a smoker. And every time you would walk into their apartment, you could smell the smoke. But then they stopped smoking, but they didn't get rid of the clothing, and they didn't, vacuum the rug, and they didn't clean up, or they didn't launder anything. So even though they stopped smoking, you would still go into their home or into their apartment, and you could still you could still smell the smoke. And the reason you could smell the smoke is because it clings. The smell of it clings to the fabric. So if you have any very old clothing, the energy of what you have been exposed to that's not high vibe is going to be clinging to the clothing that you wear. So get rid of any clothing that's very, very, very old, because there's a negative energy that's clinging to it. Anything that you love and you want to keep, really, really launder it, and launder it really, really well. That's what I got for you, Steve. Any questions, please let me know. Denisha, I believe we can handle the truth. You're saying that because you're awake. But imagine all the people in the nosebleed section that can't see shit. Imagine all the people that still trust the MSM legacy media. Imagine all of the people that really believe that Donald Trump is a racist and that he is the equivalent of Hitler. Those are the people that can't handle the truth right now. They can't handle the truth because they are still under mind control by the media. So information has to slowly come out to wake people up. Because if everything came out all at once, it would break people's minds. And it would be disruptive. So it has to be done in a very conscious way so that it's not destroying people. Yes, Denisha, mommy mode activated in 3, 2, 1, correct. Jamara, all these Hollywood breakups are so strategic. Yes, Jamara knows. She knows what's up.
Look behind you, Mom.
Oh, my baby's footums. I love them. Yes, these Hollywood breakups are so strategic. Are these decisions thought, planned out, the way you explained it, by groups of people? A collective energy chooses the strategic direction. So it can either be managers, or it can be agents, or it can be the people that are above them. It could be like the old school Hollywood elites. Those are also the ones. Like what came out in the video I had done on Gwyneth Paltrow. Her family is like above everything else. That anything that goes on in Hollywood doesn't affect Gwyneth or her family. Because her family is like ingrained into the fabric of Hollywood, or at least when her father was alive they were. So it's somebody like, for example, like her father would have been like one of the decision makers about these fomances when people are put together. But remember some things that had also come out, which is like if you are wayward, if you are derelict, if you are being an asshole, what they're going to do, this came out in the video I had done on, what's her name, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. If someone's just being a shit, what they'll do is, as a way to humble you, they will put you together with somebody in the club that's a lower level than you, because it's like an affront. It's almost like it's like an insult to you.
Yeah, it's like you're not good enough, so we're gonna put you with somebody that's lower than you. Like you're like that.
Right, like it's to humble them. It's to lower them energetically. It's like, imagine, if you will, what's his name? He's coming in so clearly, and I can't remember his name right now. So I think his name is Brandon. He was, when Lindsay Lohan was in her falling apart mode. Brandon Davis, I think is his name. Brandon Davis was making fun of Lindsay Lohan. Now Brandon Davis is like an oil tycoon heir. And he was making fun of Lindsay Lohan, and he was saying, Lindsay Lohan, she's really poor because she's only worth $10 million.
Okay, that's 4.
To someone like Brandon Davis, I think that's his name, but think about the arrogance for somebody to say that. How out of touch somebody has to be to say that. Most people are not going to see $1 million in their lifetime in their bank account at any given time, let alone 10. So think about the level to him. Think about, it's not, by the way, but think about the level of entitlement somebody that it has to have. Now, if he was an actor, he's not. He's an oil tycoon heir. If he was an actor and he was out of line to that extent, to punish him, to humble him, they would have put him in a fomance with somebody like Lindsay Lohan, because that would have shut him up. So sometimes if you're derelict, if you're not playing the role that you're supposed to, even if you are a multi-generational club member, to shut you up and to humble you, they'll put you in a relationship with somebody lower than you. Because it's like, imagine Blake Lively being a multi-generational club member, right? And feeling like she's hot shit. Imagine years ago, before now, her true nature coming out, they would have probably punished her, because it's such an affront. Like, she'd look around and she'd be like, what is this? I grew up going to the same country club, i.e. the same club. My grandparents partied with your grandparents. You can't, your great-grandparents. You can't put me in a relationship with this piece of shit. It's done to humble them. So sometimes it's done for the person's image, to make them look good. Sometimes it's done, they want to sell more magazines. They want to capture our consciousness and our attention more, a la what happened with Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie.
Mom. Or maybe they want to get the person below to come up.
They want to elevate your status. Like, that's what happened with Gwyneth Paltrow and Brad Pitt. Gwyneth Paltrow was put in a relationship, and they did get along, but she was put in a relationship with Brad Pitt because it was to show. It was like giving the elder family stamp of approval. It's a way of saying, Brad Pitt, he's a friend of ours. This is the new golden boy. He's the new poster child. He's the new cream of the crop. We're going to put him with one of our own because that sends out a big message. He's one of ours now. He's a friend of ours. So the purpose and function that these fomances serve could be any number of things, and it depends on who it is. Sometimes you're allowed to marry the person that you want to only after you pay your dues. But sometimes it's to sell magazines, it's for your image, it could be a punishment, or it could be a way to say, we're giving our stamp of approval to this person here. But it's always strategic, and it's always done with some sort of a purpose in mind. I think I answered your question on how it's done logistically. And if you want, you can go back tomorrow. You're a member. Go back and watch the video I had done. I'll give you some to look into. Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. The video, obviously, on Hollywood. Go back and watch the video. I think those might be it, actually, in fact. If anyone who's very familiar with my library of content can think of another video that really, really drives the point home, comment also and remind us of it. Because I don't think I can think of anything else that really like drives it home. Now I am going to be doing...
We haven't talked about the replay crew at all.
Sometimes it happens that way. I will be doing a standalone video on the club, and maybe I'll touch on that as well a little bit in the video on the club. I'll see. Steve, ew, Oprah is Big Mama House energy, all four of them. She's deep in the club, that's why. Yes, demon in a dress. Oh, somebody. Hello, somebody. Somebody said, my child is terrified because they do not want to lose their right as a young adult. Who's threatening their right as a young adult? And how? Hold on. That's what their handle is, somebody. Their child is terrified because they do not want to lose their right. But what right of theirs as a young adult is being threatened?
To just be a young adult?
No one is making young adults grow up any faster than they have to. What right is being threatened? Do they identify as a trans person? No one is saying you can't identify as a trans person. What right of theirs is being threatened?
Are they like threatening them, being it by like threatening to unalive them or something?
Right. What right is being threatened here? Beth, oh Steve, the image that comment conjures in my mind. Oh, LOL. Steve, Beth, for real though, she's the worst. Whatever you imagine wasn't even as bad as it is. Yes, you can watch the segment if you want to be reminded about her. Yes, Steve, mind control is foul play. Jamara, so when people, quote, sell their souls, that technically means they put that in their own contract before coming here. So just like you're the cosmic creator of your reality before being born, you're also the cosmic creator in day-to-day life. So even if somebody didn't put it in their contract that they were going to sell their soul, if they're joining the club and they are given the opportunity to join the club, they just have to sell their soul, they can make that decision in real time. We're not just the cosmic creators before, we're the cosmic creators day by day, moment by moment, second by second. High vibe choices
are the best.
What the heck was that? Did you guys see that? There was just something floating around. I don't know if that was an orb or whatever. The high vibe choices beget other high vibe choices. Low vibe choices beget other low vibe choices. So joining the club, for example, would be a very, very low vibe choice, which is going to then continue to beget further low vibe choices as well. Denisha, I wouldn't be surprised if they Epsteined Diddy. They might, but it serves a bigger purpose. Even look at it this way, what happened to Epstein was a red pill for the masses. Now, I spoke about that extensively. There's a members exclusive video on Epstein, and I actually spoke about his so-called unaliving at that time, supposed. Read between the lines. That served a purpose. That was a red pill too.
Wait, has somebody answered the question?
Which question?
Somebody.
Oh, I don't know. I'm behind on comments. I have to catch up. Jamara, in front of the veil.
Yeah, what right is being threatened?
I don't know. I'm trying to catch up here. Steve, you love interior decorating too? Yes, I do. Uh-oh. What would you prefer, space, room to decorate if you had to pick a favorite? What in my apartment now? What's the favorite room of mine? Probably. I mean, they're all similar but different. Hopefully, when I finish my kitchen, it'll be my kitchen.
Yeah, because you're not allowed to pick it because it looks terrible.
It's terrible right now. It's terrible. I don't even want to talk about it. Yes, Jamara says yes, 28
But
day.
Mom, what
They're
is
messing
your
with our
favorite?
cycles, dear.
What is your favorite?
Current?
Yeah.
Oh, I love the whole apartment.
Choose.
I love the living room. I love the
Choose.
bedroom. They're all different
You
energies.
have
If I had to choose one, probably my living room right now. But I love them all. It's like asking me to choose my favorite child, even though I only have one. I love them all the same. Steve, more like gay light. I love that. Beth, love that question, Steve. I would also like to know. Natasha M, Trump's aura is so golden and full of fire. A lot of Phoenix and Dragon energy, right? I love the man. He is all, yes. So he came here to be a disruptor. Consistently, every time, I know I get hate for this. Consistently, every time I have looked into him, which has been on more than one occasion, him and his entire family, they all have high integrity. I know there are people that are saying he's a narcissist, blah, blah, blah. Here's the thing about therapists. It's unethical to diagnose somebody that you yourself have not given a have not assessed. So how can all of these people come out and say he's a narcissist? I'm sorry, what now? Because you're basing it on his public persona? It's a persona. He has high vibe intentions for the country, for the world, for humanity at large. I have consistently seen it. Yes. He is a disruptor of the status quo. That is what his soul came here to do, to disrupt the status quo. And he is going to. Steve, thank you. Wow. Steve, perfect examples and details. And yes, finished painting, but have yet to decorate past resetting my bed. I love that. Yes, add plants. Good one. Jamara, clothes having energy is so real. Wow. Thinking of, yep. That's why, and here's the thing, anytime, not just at a thrift store, anytime I bring any clothing home, I don't wear it. I wash it first because there's the energy of every person that was walking past it, touching it, picking it up, trying it on. I don't want to put that on my body. I want to wash it first. Steve, I think when people, quote, sell their soul, they just create something that gives away their free will. That's part of it, Steve, absolutely. Denisha, John David Washington, Denzel's son, says he won't date in Hollywood because he has trust issues. He won't date in Hollywood because he knows it's the scum of the earth there. Yes, I said it. They're the scum of the earth. Denisha, can you do a reading on, he's on my list, honey. I wonder if he sold out because he hit, yeah, so he's on my list. I haven't looked into him yet. I know that was a good one, right? Sold out. Denisha, Samuel L. Jackson. Denisha, love, I did a mini energy read on Samuel L. Jackson. Please go back and...
Sorry.
Please go back and watch the video that I had done on Samuel L. Jackson because the answer is in there. But oh boy, it's a lot more than just is he in the club. You will learn a lot about him and you will like it. Jamara, more so when things happen on a global scale, i.e. Diddy, the way it rolls out is an intentional move for our distraction, but who makes these choices? Who says, let's put this out this way? There's a number of people either on Team Dark Side or Team High Vibe. Those are the people that are making the decision and rolling it out. Now, here's the thing. I want you to look at separate factions. There's Team High Vibe, there's Team Dark Side. They both have, look at them if you will, like they are the generals. But the generals have lieutenants underneath them. And the lieutenants serve subdivisions. So for example, the Cabal, which would be considered an oversimplification, because if you've seen the video that I've done on Satan, you know it on a different context. But let's say for argument's sake, if you will, Satan is the general for Team Low Vibe, Team Dark Side. The 13 bloodline families are the lieutenants. And then they have lieutenants under them. What's under a lieutenant? Anyone have any idea about like military structure? Because let's say there's a general, there's a lieutenant, and then there's the privates. There's a buffer between the privates and the lieutenants. So each bloodline family, for example, have a subset of other lieutenants below them that control separate factions. So there's one lieutenant that's going to control Hollywood. There's one lieutenant that's going to control Bollywood. There's one that's going to control agriculture. There's one that's going to control big pharma. There's one that's going to, you kind of see where we're going with it? So there's one at top, at the very, very top, but then under them, they have different subsections that are calling the shots and are making the rules. It's the same thing for team low vibe and for team high vibe. So let's say, for example, at the very top of 17 is, let's say maybe 7, 8 people that know everything, the full breadth and scope. They have lieutenants under them that are dealing with each division, and those lieutenants under them have a full team that are working together and are making the decisions. So it's not necessarily one person, it's a group of people that are working under the auspices of one larger or set of one person in the case of Satan, or in the case of Team High Vibe, which is like maybe 8 to 10 people that know everything. So it's subdivisions under each subdivision that go into each industry as a whole and are making decisions. Like, for example, to tie it into what's going on right now in the world, Donald Trump just got elected as he's the president-elect. He is going to appoint RFK to make America healthy again. Now RFK, because he said he's going to appoint him to do it. So RFK is going to be, if you will, the lieutenant, but RFK is going to have a team of people that he's going to be working with to make America healthy again. But he's going to be reporting to one person on top of him, which would, for example, be, in this case, Donald Trump. Do you see how it works?
Donald John Trump.
Jamara, I might know, but I don't recall clearly. Okay. Steve, HD called Trump a narc, but I will see how he could appear as that, yet be more yeah, so I know that he has said that about Trump as well. I haven't personally seen that about Trump when I've looked into him. Again, I think HG is saying that because he's basing it on a persona. Now, I personally am less aggrieved by HG coming to that assessment than, like, I remember in the 2016 election, there was like, someone had shared an article on like Facebook or something, and it said that like 20 psychotherapists had come out and they had, dude, you almost kicked the tripod over, watch your foot. 20 like therapists had come out and had said that they had all assessed that Trump was a narcissist. This is 20 therapists. So the person who shared the article, I commented and I was like, don't you find it to be unusual that 20 therapists are breaking the #1 rule of ethics, which is they are diagnosing a person that they have never actually met? And her answer was so insightful because she said to me, this is when I was like, oh, she drinks the Kool-Aid. She said, in the article I shared, that was what was most concerning to you? Not that he's a narcissist, but that the therapists were breaking the ethics code? I was like, oh, she's drinking the Kool-Aid. I got it now. Hi, Katrina. I'm glad you caught us, love. Jamara, I saw the Samuel. It is cool, right? Joe Granada, I know you have done a reading on Britney Spears before, but just wondering what your thoughts were on people believing she is in some way part of the Great Awakening. That's a very, very interesting question, Joe.
Real life.
I don't know.
Why are people screaming?
I mean, I can see it, but I really have to dig deep into it to see that she's part of it. Because to me, the only thing that would make sense in her being a piece in the pie of the Great Awakening is, you know, what it means to be free. Because in some ways, Britney is a slave as well, just like we're slaves, or we've been slaves. So it's, I think maybe just, it could be like some sort of comparative tool. I don't know. I don't really see her being part of the Great Awakening, though. I have to be honest. Oh my God, Jenna. I'm so glad you made it, love. And it is a gooder. It is. Denisha, yes, I watched. Yes, 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 yes. So he's not. He's an ET. Steve, wow, Faye, I didn't even ask for this, but you're answering it. That's called being in the flow, Steve. God bless. Tiffany, what are the Project 2020? Is it no? So Project 2025. When I looked into it, it was shown to me as being it's the kind of like a different version of Agenda 2030. It's not real. It's not really going to come to pass. It's a red pill, if you will. I don't see it playing out. I don't see it being a real thing. Jamara, LOL. LOL, man, want to be a high vibe lieutenant. I'm so intrigued about everyone's strategy. I want to play. I know, right? Steve, 17 people could hit like that. Denisha, could you do a behind the veil on? Yes. So Denisha, I've actually done both. There's a special AMA. It's in the AMA playlist. There's a special, it's an entire video that's devoted entirely to mental and physical ailments. So like mental well-being and physical well-being. It's an entire AMA devoted to the behind the veil explanation of mental health concerns and physical health concerns. And autism is in that video. You're going to love it. Jenna, they don't give a fuck about ethics and people aren't seeing that at all. I know, because they're under mind control by the legacy media. They're not seeing it. They're really, really not seeing it. Steve, I personally think we could get a weekly Britney update just out of respect. I mean, I've looked into her multiple times, have I not? Katrina, Jamara, do you have IG? Natasha, many or... So that's what I was also seeing. I didn't want to say because I didn't want to influence what you guys were seeing, but I was also thinking I'm seeing a lot of orbs floating around also. Yes, Natasha, she always has orbs around. I love that, guys. I love that you catch it. Steve, Jamara, what do you mean wannabe? You already are that. I love that, Steve. Jamara, LOL, Steve, I thought that, but they know it all. They know all the goods. I'm still getting downloads and asking questions.
The guides bring the goods.
The guides bring the goods, don't they, though? Sarah Lee, do Mark Wahlberg and his wife come from club families? Great question. His wife does. He was a new addition. His wife definitely comes from a club family. He was not raised in it. He joined it later and he joined it on his own. Oh, tons of orbs. I love that. Now, I've also, what video was it? I don't remember what video it was, but in one of the videos I had looked into the significance of all of the celebrities moving out of Hollywood. Them moving out of Hollywood signified something also. I can't for the life of me remember what video it was, though. Maybe if I sit with it, I'll remember.
Remember.
I'm trying, I don't remember. Maybe it'll come to me, though. I know, I'm loving the orbs also, guys. Okay. We are, good job watching your leg there, buddy. We are at 3 o'clock. I gotta be done and off for good prior to 30 minutes from now. 27 to be exact, because it's 3:03. So let's start to move in the direction of wrapping it up. If you guys have any more questions pertaining specifically to yesterday, what happened yesterday, the election, what's going to kind of be playing out in the next couple of years, anything like that, now is the time to bring it up. Beth, have to go soon, Faye, but you know, the screen went dark a little bit. This happened in the other live stream also. It's making it hard to read the comments, but it's going to take me a second longer. Have to go soon, Faye, but just so you don't forget. Oh, thank you, Beth. You are amazing, and thank you for everything you do. And thanks everyone in chat for making each live a wonderful experience. Love to you all. I love you, Beth. Thank you for saying so. It's really meaningful. Denisha is loving the orbs too. Jamara, I gotta watch the autism one. It's such an intriguing topic. It's a wild one. It's really... It's a good one. Because behind the veil, what it is not at all what I was expecting for sure. I can't say what anyone else is going to expect about it. Jenna, I missed a bunch. I have no idea what you already covered. How late am I? We popped on around 1 o'clock. So I think you're going to enjoy the replay. You're right on time. Yeah, you're going to enjoy the replay, but you can ask anything you want to. Even if it's something that I covered earlier, I'll either say I covered it earlier and catch it in the replay, or I'll answer it for you. Yes, Jenna, everything is groovy. Look at the last 4 years like it was a giant red pill. We are A-okay. It's not that it's not going to get gnarly, because it is, because part of what Trump came here to do is to be a red pill. He's like a red pill in human form.
He's a walking red pill.
He's a walking red pill. Part of what he came here to do is to be a disruptor and to wake people up. So his second term is going to include a lot more D-class, and it's going to get gnarly, because when the truth comes out, it's going to be gnarly, but it is all for our benefit and humanity's benefit. Yes, it does feel groovy. Tiffany, what are some ways we can start doing shadow work and integration? And I feel like that self-worth issues are why so many people, find the way. Yes. No, you're not wrong. That's what it is. I'm going to answer your question in a second. Denisha, I had an orbit come lay down next to me before, and I wish I had actually seen the frame of who the spirit was. So how can you do shadow work? What are your triggers? That's a great, first of all, that's the number one way to start to do shadow work. What are your triggers? What triggers you? What self-destructive bad habits do you have? The first thing that you have to do is identify them. Identify what your triggers are. Identify what self-destructive tendencies you have. What do they look like? How do they manifest in the 3D world? What do you do where you are standing in your own way? Once you can actually figure it out and here's the thing, part of it includes being brutally honest. It means looking at ourselves honestly. The good, the bad. And a lot of people don't even want to do that. That's why we're stuck in a repeat cycle of avoidant behavior. Nobody wants to look at ourselves and see the ways that we are not living highly aligned, or look at the ways in which we are making bad choices or self-destructive choices, or part of it is taking accountability. But the only way you can first take accountability is by identifying what are your triggers. What do you do that is not highly aligned? Do you have I'm not saying this particularly about you, I'm just giving some examples. Does anybody that's watching this have a victim mentality? Does anybody here not take accountability for their choices and their actions and blame other people? Does anybody here, because we have self-worth issues, outside of eating comfort food, which as I said earlier, has some sort of a purpose, doing things like that is sabotage. It's self-sabotage. Would we rather be a couch potato than work out? That's also a form of self-sabotage. So we have to be brutally honest. Where are we sabotaging ourselves? What bad choices do we make? What triggers us? Because our triggers are here to teach us where we have an unhealed wound. The first thing you got to do is get brutally honest. Once you do that and you have compiled a list, come back and let's talk in a future live stream.
Yeah.
And I can share with you what's next. But most people won't even get that far. Most people won't even get to step 2. Because being brutally honest about ourselves is not something that people want to do. So you got to get brutally honest, Tiffany. You get brutally honest, you make that list, come back and then we'll talk next time about it, okay? Jamara, her link is there. I don't know what that is. Oh, there we go. Yeah, on YouTube with some I think I missed a comment. That's why. For shadow work. It's in an AMA, but I think I more talked about... So you can first of all check out all of the videos in the playlist High Vibe Life. But I also talked about how shadow work is going to be really buzzy in the future, where a lot of people are going to be talking about what shadow work they've done, what wounds did they have to overcome, like, because part of the reason we're not psychic, even though we all are, but part of the reason we don't know that we're psychic is due to the fact that we have so much shame. And shame shuts down our psychic and telepathic abilities because we don't want people to see what we're ashamed of. Shame is a low vibe. So if we can get onto the other side of our own shame, it eradicates many personal veils that we have, and it allows us to see ourselves clearly as we truly are. But we got to be stepping out of shame. We have to be brutally honest with ourselves. We have to accept ourselves. The good, the bad, the ugly, everything about ourselves. We have to give ourselves self-love, because all love starts with self-love. The degree in which you can love another person and the degree in which you will allow another person love you completely depends on the amount that you love yourself first. Because if somebody doesn't think they are worthy of love, they are going to self-sabotage healthy, loving relationships, because in their mind, they're not even worthy of it. So you gotta love yourself first. That is one of the big key steps in shadow work. Loving yourself, all parts of yourself, integrating all parts of yourself. That's a big one. Let me catch up on comments here. Jenna, I've got, again, the screen is a little dark here. I'm going to come in a little closer. I've got a heavy trauma therapy session in the morning. I'm stoked. I love all. Jenna, shadow work is the wave of the future. You're just getting a head start on it, and I'm really, really proud of you. What?
I'm talking to my dad.
Okay. Yes, it is going to be huge. Faye, we need a group on Facebook or IG. That's an interesting idea. Let me think about it, because I'm not super active on social media. Maybe if we could do some other sort of a group, I don't know. I'll think about this, I'll look into it, maybe like either a Telegram group, maybe something like that, or like a WhatsApp group or something like that. Maybe that would be, because that I will give more attention to than social media. But let me think about it. You guys, please, if you have any ideas, feel free. You can either, email me, hello@solarflow.com, and any ideas that you have. I want to be connected to you guys. I'm fully committed to being connected to you guys. I just have to figure out like what's the best methodology and the best approach to actually. I know how to talk, I promise.
No, you don't.
I do. The best. Dude, watch your foot. The best methodology and approach to dealing with it.
Told you.
Steve, Humpty Dumpty is the gatekeeper of shame. Kinda, yeah. Katrina, would love to connect with like minds. I'm getting this a lot lately, by the way, guys. I'm getting this a lot lately. I know there's a need. If you guys have any ideas, tell me what it would be. What is your preferred platform? I'll get something together. I'm totally open to getting something together. I just really want to think about what's going to be the best platform for all of us. Maybe it is a Facebook group, and if it is, I'll be more active on there.
On Facebook.
I'll be more active. I will. Like I'm here. I live in service to humanity, and first and foremost, most specifically, I live first and foremost service to humanity, but first and foremost also my Solar Flow family. Tiffany, I watched the AMA video on shadow work, and in there, and it was explained so well. I'm happy to hear that. Jamara, yes, we love a group. I love a good group too. Jenna. Oh, thank you, Jenna, darling. Was this a just because? I so appreciate you, Jenna. That is very thoughtful of you, darling. I don't know if there's a question to follow, but if so, I'm here for it. Steve, I gave up my Facebook. Boy, did things change. I could see that. Steve, at Jenna, mic drop. Sarah Lee, Telegram would be best, I think. That's a good one. Joe Granada, WhatsApp, thumbs up. Hello, FT. I'm sorry, the screen really went dark. I don't know what it is. I know what your handle is, but I don't remember it exactly and I can't see it. I think it's FTBX1. Hey, Faye, did you talk about the economy next 6 months? So there's going to be a lot of changes here. It's going to get better. It's going to get better in slow increments. I want you to kind of look at it like it's going to go up and then it's going to plateau a little bit. It's going to go up and it's going to plateau a little bit. There's a huge economic reforms that are going to be happening in the next 8 years. I can't see all of it. However, I think I have discussed it in previous AMAs. I discussed upcoming changes to the workforce. That's going to explain a little bit about what's going on. And then there was another AMA segment I had done where I had looked into digital currency. So there's huge changes that are going to be coming. It's not all going to be happening all at once. Go back, watch those segments in previous AMAs because I don't have time to go into it now, but I've done deep dives into it into the past. But look at the changes in the economy. It's going to be a little up and a plateau, a little up and a plateau, a little bit more of an up, but it's going to gradually get better and better and better, but it's going to be concurrent to the changes that are going to be rolled out over the next 8 years. Watch your feet.
My foot hurts.
Steve, I would prefer not a meta company. I hear you, Steve. Jenna, that was a mic drop. You explained that. Oh, thank you. Thank you, darling. I appreciate. I don't know what I explained so well, but thank you so much. Jamara, Facebook's groups is the main place where community engagement cannot feel so intimidating, but still very social. Thank you for that context. Jamara, the screen is doing that because iPhones don't like to, that's probably why. Damn iPhones. Jenna, yeah, that's what I was thinking about the economy future too. FTBX, interesting, that's good. Jenna, people are gonna need to be patient and they just not right now. Grocery, yeah. I just went grocery shopping yesterday. 2 little bags of groceries, close to $100. Every item in the grocery, like I'm trying to think what I can, like the coconut water I get from Trader Joe's is up 50 cents each. It used to be $1.79, it's now $2.29 a bottle. That's 50 cents each for one item. But it's like that for everything. Every item in the grocery store is up. But yeah, abortion, that was really the biggest, I was getting so many text messages from people saying, you gotta vote, you gotta vote for Kamala. She's the only one that's gonna protect our reproductive rights. I'm sorry, what the fuck now? I need to be able to put food on my table and a roof over my head. Yes, it's important and I get that. Here's the thing, it's important to less than half of the population. How many people is this the number one pressing issue above everything else? More important than being able to have transportation and being able to actually have a roof over your head and food on your table, is that really the most important? 2% personal opinion. You know, if it is for you, you do you, boo. It's not my number one priority. I'm sorry. And by the way, Donald Trump never said that he was taking away women's reproductive rights. All that happened was it was thrown out. Roe v. Wade was overturned because having an abortion is not a constitutional right. It was only overturned because it's not a constitutional right. It got kicked down to each state. It's not a federal issue. It's on a state-by-state basis. That's all it is. Like, God damn it, people, not you. I know you guys do your research. All the talking heads out there that haven't done any lick of research and they're just regurgitating what's been told to them. It's like, you know what? Turn off the fucking news and utilize Google. You'll learn more that way. 2% personal opinion. Shadow work, yes. Jamara. So still have to get a job to maintain is what you're saying, LOL. I didn't say that. I just said the big change is not going to be for about 8 years or so. You can do whatever you want to do. We all have free will. Free will reigns supreme. including the free will to get any sort of employment that you want to. I can't make that decision for you. I can't, I'm sorry. I can only say what can be, but what that looks like for each individual person, that I can't tell you. We all have free will. We can all decide to go off the grid. Many of us are, homesteading. Many of us, are moving out of big cities and moving into smaller communities. Many of us are withdrawing our attention from the matrix. The degree in which you're going to do that is entirely up to you. Like, can you get a so-called 3D job and also work on your passion projects? Yes, sure. I can't tell you what it's going to look like for you. I'm sorry. And I know that that's frustrating. Changes are coming in the next 8 years, but that's all I can say. They are coming in the next 8 years.
In 2032.
Jamie McKell, yes, groceries is crazy. You have to plan meals, and I'm sorry about that. I know it does suck, Margaret. Jamie, how are families even going to afford groceries for the holidays? This is part of the red pill process, unfortunately. It is, and I'm sorry about that. For Sal, good evening, guys. I got to get off. It was nice. I'm so glad that you caught us, dear. Very, very happy that you did. Steve, an abortion could be a rare or a necessary privilege with the right mindset. I'm not weighing in on that. I think I've made my thoughts clear. I think it's important. I am diametrically opposed late-term abortion. It's nothing more than murder, in my opinion. I'm not speaking for anybody else. In my opinion, late-term abortion is murder. It is grotesque and it is horrifying. Like, I'm sorry, if you are waiting until the 8th month to decide if you're going to have an abortion, that's evil. In my opinion.
Like, the child is already almost fully grown.
It's horrifying. I'm sorry. I live in a sanctuary state where they allow shit like that. It's horrible. I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed that I live in a state that allows it because it's fucking murder, in my opinion. Am I against it in all circumstances? No, absolutely not. In cases of incest, in cases of non-consensual sex, even in cases where somebody doesn't know in the first trimester, in cases of medical necessities, yes, I'm 100% on board. I am not on board with late-term abortion, and I am not on board with people using it as a form of birth control. If you can't get your shit together and use protection, do not abort a child. You should not be having sex unprotected if that is your form of birth control, in my opinion. This is my opinion. We are not snowflakes here. We are all responsible for our own feelings and opinion. These are my opinions. If you don't like it, I respect your opinion. But please do not come after me if you are watching this in the replay crew and attack me. These are my opinions and I am entitled to them just like you are entitled to your opinion. Facts over feelings. My opinion is not a fact. It's an opinion. I'm entitled to mine. You are entitled to yours. I know somebody, I was in a yoga class. I got to get off in a minute or two. I was in a yoga class where a woman was telling me, she was bragging to me about it. She was saying to me, in the 80s, we were all getting abortions. It was like popping candy. We were doing it because we didn't want to use protection.
Jabriz.
You know what? You do you, boo. To me, that doesn't sit well. That's a human life. In my opinion. I don't judge anybody for anything. I don't even judge that woman that's what she did. But for me, that didn't sit well. That's all I'm saying. It's like you have to go to such great lengths not to offend anybody these days. It's wild. It's absolutely wild. Yes, it's not a right, and it's not a constitutional right either, Steve. Jamara, I know, I'm ruffling some feathers. I'm ruffled feathers over here. Steve, saying the same thing. And it is satanic. Yes, it is, Jenna. That's why there's all these people that have been brainwashed into thinking it's about human rights. No, child, no. It's actually satanic behind the veil. Bless. I love you, Jenna. Yes, it should not be used as birth control, in my opinion. Joe Granada, I think that's 100% there. Jamara, yes, we at 5% opinion now. I mean, I'm going for it. I don't know, maybe Trump winning has emboldened me. Steve, wrist peck, LOL, love you guys. Jenna, yeah, I know, the screen being so dark is annoying. I know someone who was on her, oh God, her seventh 6 years ago. I sometimes wonder how many more. That's truly sad, in my opinion. Allegedly. Jamara on a billboard and a t-shirt. All right, I think I just caught up on all of the comments. Let me get off before I offend anybody else. Any other snowflakes that are in the chat or not, because we're too high vibe. I don't have snowflakes in my motherfucking chat, nor my motherfucking replay. Steve, Jenna, oof. I gotta go. I have a consultation in 6 minutes. Just gonna remind anybody that is still here. If anybody wants to have a consultation with me, you know that they're free. You can book a free consultation with me. We can talk about what's going on in your life, and if there is any way that you think that I may be able to help you with my sessions, my consultations are free. I keep them free for a reason. So you guys know I got your back, okay? I love you, I love you all. Jamara, okay, love you all. See you soon. Bye. Jenna, K, fake kiss. Bye, love you. Hey, Pip, so long.
Why does VIP talk?
Pip, so long from Jenna. Book is, yes, many of you that are in the chat right now have had sessions with me.
Goodbye.
Steve, playing easy. Not really. Amazing life. You're most welcome, Joe. You're most welcome. Jamara also says goodbye, Pip. Yes, I am on Etsy too. The price point on Etsy is a little bit lower than on my website. I also have a new service, guys. I'm so freaking excited. Check out my website. I have a new service. I had 3 consultations this week, and every single consultation I had something in common. Wonky vibration. So I offer a new service now. I forgot what I called it, but it's something basically where I look into your vibration and I see what's wonky about it and how to get it back into full divine alignment. So check out my website, check out my Etsy shop. I got you guys. I love you guys. We're good. It's going to get gnarly, but it's all for humanity. It's going to be amazing. I promise you. I have always consistently seen that, but it will get gnarly, but it's for the best in the long term. I love you guys. Goodbye. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful rest of your day, evening, whatever it is in your time zone. And I'm going to try to record a video for tomorrow, and then next week we're going to have all new videos as well, and I'm really excited about it. Replay crew, I hope you have enjoyed this live stream. Love to you all. Nothing but blessings and love upon all of you. And I will see you next time. Goodbye, farewell, and I will see you soon.